Today I'm going to make a walking cane with an applied handle on top. I have a Christian brother who's very close to me who has a car similar to this. This is a Chevelle. I'm going to put this car in a hard case and insert it in this block of wood. I am going to cut this piece of wood down, of course. It's a pretty big piece of wood. This will come off the bottom of an old pallet. But I will insert it in here. I'm going to try to make it visual from the top, both sides, and the front, if that's possible, but I think I can. This is an old painter stick or something I found in the trash. I'm going to make him a cane that kind of matches the car that he has, similar to the car that you see right there. Not exact, but it's the same thing. We'll see how it goes, and I'll probably be doing most of this work on the inside because it's pretty cold here now, finally. But we'll see, so it'll take me a while, but I'll be back and show you some updates. I now have trimmed down that block of wood where I'm going to make my handle. I actually had to cut another one because the grains was a little funny on the other one and I didn't really like it. The grains were a lot better on this one. I'm hoping you can see it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some flat bits and chisel and make a square in the top of this, and I'll insert this just down far enough where it's inside there, and then I will cut windows on each side of this block and each end. Hopefully we can view the car all the way around. And yes, I know there's some nail holes in there, and if I need to fill that with some sawdust and wood glue, then I will. And I know there's some checking, but I'll get all that lined up. Of course, this is all going to be cut off here, and the handle's or the shaft will set up through here, and then it'll just be the. And I apologize that I can't video me doing the work as I go along, because I can't hold the camera and do the work at the same time. But I'll come back and show you what it looks like once I get further along. But right now I'm going to cut a square out here. I'm going to measure where I need to set the car inside here, and we'll go from there. Okay, I have the car marked off where I'm going to set this down inside the block of wood. This is an 1.25" flat bit, or a spade bit, and it's the same size that pretty much I need. And yes, I know I'll have to chisel out the corners once I'm done, but I'm going to put this in my vise, carve out the top of this, and we'll go from there. And then, of course, I'll make the windows a little bit later on, but right now I'm going to get the car inserted where it can be pretty visible from the top, where it'll sit all the way down inside of there. And oh yes, I am wearing safety glasses. Okay, I have my hole started. Bear with me, I hope my hand doesn't get in the way, or my fingers, but I'm going to try to show you what I'm up to. Pretty much I drilled the holes, and this is as deep as I'm going to go because I don't want to go any deeper because the shaft has to sit up in the bottom of this. But this is kind of my measurement, and my car is going to now sit down inside. There's enough room to sit down inside of it. I do have it wide enough that the car will fit down in there. Of course, I will chisel this out, make it square, and then I'll sand it, of course, when I'm finished. But yeah, I just wanted to show you where it was at right now. But I will clean all this up and get it square and put the car down inside there and go from there. Okay, I now have my hole squared out, and yes, I know it's chipped on the end of it, but I made the hole a little bit deeper where the car would fit in there. I'm not going to stick it all the way down in there just yet, because I need to be able to get it out in case I want to drill windows, and I'm not too sure I'm going to do that, because I don't think it's going to be stable enough to be a handle. But I will need to cut this down and trim it up, of course. You know, I did just smooth it up, after chipping it up. As you can tell, there's all kind of chips everywhere where I've been chiseling it. but I just sanded it down, ground it down a little bit to make it a little easier to handle after chipping it up. But my hole is made, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make windows where it's going to be visible from the side, but at least it will be all the way visible from the top. And like I said, I don't want to put it all the way down in there yet, just in case I can't get it out. If I do decide to put windows in the side of it, which, you know, this being my last block of wood, I don't know, and it was awful difficult to get that square made, so I'm going to try to make it square, straight, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Well, as you can tell, I went ahead and made holes in the side of this thing. You know, I kind of wanted to follow through with what I said I was going to do. You know, make it visible from at least both sides, the front and the top. I've got the car sitting in it for a few minutes, just to kind of give you an idea of what it will look like once it's finished. I'm going to pause this video, take the car out, and then I'll show you how I made these holes. Basically, I just drilled 2 holes on each side and the front, 1 inch, and then I used a small saw to, you know, cut out the majority of the middle that I could. I'm going to smoothen that up with files and sandpaper and stuff. But most of this is done by hand, other than, you know, of course, having to use a power drill. And I'll be back to give you an update after I get it all cleaned up, smooth. I'm going to round it up a little bit. Okay, the materials I used to make my cane handle was from an old pallet. I just cut the center block out of it and then cut it up into a block, you know, big enough for a cane handle. I still need to fill the holes in the bottom of this right here and finish sanding it, but I'm going to fill this with wood glue and sawdust. That way it's solid all the way through. I'll bore a hole through the bottom of it, clean it up a little bit better. But I made the car case. I got this from a Dollar Tree. It was $1. Cut this up, and I slid the car in there and put it together and taped it up where polyurethane wouldn't get into it, or dirt, either one. But this is the materials that I used. Okay, I now have my hole bored in the bottom of it where my shaft's going to go. There's my drill over there. And I've sanded it down fairly well. I still have a little bit of sanding left to do. But now I want to glue the shaft down in there. I'm going to put his name on the right side of this. I did fill it with wood glue and sawdust. And like I said, I still have some sanding left to do when I'm finished with it. And I'll be back with another update. Okay, I've put the shaft in the cane now. And I kind of measured where most of the weight's going to be. That way the shaft goes where most of the weight's going to be sitting on top of the piece. The car's in there. I still have some fine sanding to do, but this is basically what it's going to look like, other than, you know, maybe a little more fine sanding like in here and stuff like that. But the shaft's inside of it. I need to sand off the glue, and then I'll put the coats of polyurethane on it. I did write his name on the back of it. That way when he goes to car shows, he'll know it's his cane. But it is viewable from the top and both sides and the front. And I'll be back to show you what the finished product looks like. Well, I'm all finished with the cane. I put 4 coats of polyurethane on the handle. and I put 3 coats of polyurethane on the shaft. Of course, I sanded in between each coat. And as I said, I put his nickname on the back. If I had to do this again, I believe I would try to find one of those round tubes that you can get candy in around Valentine's Day or Christmas or something like that, and put the car in that way, and then just drill a normal hole in it instead of making a square hole, and maybe try to go in through the side, because most people don't view the top of a car, they view the sides of the car. But I inserted it through the top, and it's in there. It won't fall out. It's stuck in there. It's very well in there. And as I said, I made this for a Christian brother of mine. And Jim, I hope you like it. Thanks for watching my video. Have a wonderful day.